Introducing the future of hassle-free and seamless financial transaction. The UNO Wallet app, empowering you to effortlessly manage your money anytime, anywhere. With the UNO Wallet app, you can now enjoy branchless banking, wallet-to-wallet transfer, wallet-to-cash, and bank cross-border payments, deposit at a bank, and withdraw from any UNO branch. Get ready to experience the ultimate banking convenience with the UNO Wallet app. With just few taps on your phone, you can effortlessly add funds, withdraw, and send money to your loved ones. The UNO Wallet app also provides a detailed history of your transaction, making it easier to track your expenses. So, what are you waiting for? Download the UNO Wallet app today on Play Store or App Store and say goodbye to hassle of traditional banking. UNO Forex Bureau Limited, delivering much more than money.
Ja Oil ñoom ñoo jiitu si wàllum jaay essence si biir réew mi te ñu def ko warugal pour kontaan loo suñu client yi borom moto yi ak driver yi seen jaaxare jeex na léegi pour am essence bu baax ak njëg bu yomba lii sax moo tax ñu amal leen banxaas fépp si biir réew mi pour essence bu baax bu set benn place rek la muy Ja Oil soo soxlae essence bu set essence bu baax gasoil wala kérosine naa la wax ne Ja Oil rek mooy jëmukaay ga doxantul rek si bépp banxaasi Ja Oil nga am si bànneex ak Ja Oil seen bànneex mooy suñ taxawaay moo tax ñu amoon leen banxaas bépp si biir réew mi nim gën a yombee pour yow ak suñ liggéeykat yu xarañ yi naa la won ne mbégte rek nga see jël pour am essence bu baax pour say machine fenn place rek la mooy sa Ja Oil ak Ja Oil bànneex kese la moo tax sax suñ station si nekk ca Costa Road ak Banjul wàññil nañ leen njëgi essence bi foofu noonu pour am si lu leer mun ngaa call si 770 8080 322 9070 714 7273 wala 787 1321 Ja Oil, the pride of the nation.
Looking for the perfect home away from home in the Gambia? Welcome to BC's Residence, your ideal short-stay apartment in the heart of Bundum. Whether you're visiting for business, pleasure, or an extended stay, BC's Residence offers you the comfort, convenience, and privacy you deserve. Enjoy spacious, well-appointed accommodations in a peaceful neighborhood just behind Nusrat High School. Our residence combines modern amenities with authentic Gambian hospitality, ensuring your stay is both comfortable and memorable. At BC's Residence, you are not just booking a room, you're finding your perfect base to explore all that the Gambia has to offer. Ready to book your stay? Contact us today. Plus 220-941414. BC's Residence at gmail.com. BC's Residence, Bundum, behind Nusrat High School. Your comfort is our priority.
Hello and welcome back to our show. It's another Thursday and we are back here in the studio. This day we are back in the studio. We are not in the apartment or another location because Nawek is doing right by us here. And of course, if you've been following us, we announced that we're going to have the gorgeous Nenneh Cheyassin Kebe. Nenneh, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
I told you on the video, you look even more gorgeous and young in person.
In person.
What is the secret?
Sleep, exercise, diet. I don't eat rice, pasta, sugar.
You don't eat rice?
I don't eat rice, pasta, sugar. I do probably once a week, I do a bowl of rice.
Wow.
I suffer myself.
Oh my God. Oh, it's showing.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Of course, I have Kemo Bojang. Kemo is an impromptu guest. Yeah. We have to talk about the voter registration because we have seen the statement from the UMC and the government statement, so we will need clarity on what really happened in Nyangen, right?
Yeah.
Welcome back to the show, Kemo.
It's a pleasure being here, Fatou, and it's always wonderful to be in your midst and also in Kerr Fatou.
Yeah.
It's my home, I like to say.
Yeah.
And we're always grateful that you're giving us the opportunity to come and speak to the people.
Yeah. Now, first, we start on the show, we start with what's trending. And I think before coming to the show, what was trending is the verdict from a Senegalese court, the Aïssa Fati case. Aïssa Fati is a young Gambian who was, sued by his former fiancé, Abdoulaye Cham, a businessman, who was supposed to build the OIC hotel here in the Gambia. He sued her for some money, bridging, obviously, a marriage contract. The case was ongoing in Senegal, and Aïssa was traveling in Gambia. Whilst Aïssa was traveling to Senegal, she was arrested with her husband, and she was detained for some time. And obviously, the case was ongoing. Today, the verdict was given by the judge, and she was acquitted for all the charges. Aïssa's defense obviously wanted to throw the case away because they thought for jurisdictional issues, because there was a case in Gambia. But the judge said, no, there's a case here, we want to hear it. And obviously it went on. But today the verdict came out and the case was dismissed against her. She was acquitted. Have you been following this case? Because obviously I think everyone was following it.
I think every Gambian knows, especially us women. Mm-hmm. This is good gossip. So people have an idea. Yeah. Even if you don't know what the nitty-gritty of the show became a show, mm-hmm. was, you had an idea. Yeah. So I had an idea of what was happening, mm-hmm. but I didn't know all the entire story. Yeah. Because it had happened prior to me coming to Gambia. So this had been going on and off, mm-hmm. for a while. Yeah. So from the bit that I got, mm-hmm. they were dating. Yeah. And they were engaged to be married. Mm-hmm. And then the relationship didn't work. Yeah. And now he wants his money back. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, but the judge said, no, you can't. Of course you can't. He already got what he was supposed to get. She got the best guy in the country. Of course. You play, you pay. What did you expect? I never understood why there was a case to begin with. Yeah. She's an attractive woman by all steps of the imagination. Yeah. She's not someone you see for the first time and look away. Mm-hmm. And if you're going to be with someone 20 years older, just from the photos that I saw of the guy, what did he think? If I'm dating someone that much older, there has to be some money involved. I'm sorry. And I know men, you don't like to hear that. You like to think that women are with you because of your brains and your looks or whatever the reason. We also have our reasons. I mean, it is what it is. He needs to suck it up. Yeah, and move on. I think his ego was bruised. Yeah. That's why it dragged on as long as it did. Mm-hmm. I think it hurt his feelings. Yeah. So he wanted to prove his point. Yeah. And beat his chest. That's mm-hmm. why he kept it going. But now hopefully it's all resolved. And hopefully this is a lesson to everybody. Hopefully. People should have honest conversations in what they want mm-hmm. in their relationships from day one. From day one. Yeah. And I don't think he was honest with himself. Mm. Yeah, no, he wasn't. Oh, well. Kemo, the case has been, Aïssa has been acquitted of all the charges in Senegal, but there's still a case ongoing in Gambia.
I don't know what is going to happen. I'm not a lawyer, but of course I do know Gambia.
Like the governor said today, are you a lawyer?
Are you a lawyer? Yes. The governor was quick to say that to Jara. Are you a lawyer? I'm not a lawyer. I'm just going to make that disclaimer. But I do know the Gambia and Senegal have corporations, legal corporation, defense corporations. I don't know. I'm not sure. Can you try the same case in 2 jurisdictions, especially now that the case started in Gambia and ISIS defense in Senegal were trying to tell the judge that this case is already in Gambia. So hold on, don't rule on it. But it looked like Senegal was quicker. They said, no, there's a case here and we want to pursue it. And they pursued it. Today, a judgment was given in favor of Aisha. The judge said, no, you cannot have anything back. In fact, all the legal charges and everything, the government will take care of that. She's acquitted. There's no merits in this case and we're throwing it in the dustbin. Yeah. Do you think it will affect the case in the Gambia?
Again, I'm not a lawyer.
Yes.
Yes. And I haven't also followed it that much, but I guess everybody knew what was going on. But in the end, I think Gambia lost because we had plans to build a 5-star hotel, an improvement in our tourism sector. Someone was identified and given the project to build us a hotel, a Radisson Blue Hotel. Unfortunately, he diverted the funds and funded a lifestyle, and today we have lost. So in the end, I think this is also a wake-up call for the government of the Gambia, a wake-up call for Gambians themselves. But like Nenneh said, he knew what he was getting into. I think the courts have done justice. And for me, it's a social relationship. And when you're getting into a relationship, everybody has their terms of reference, and it's up to you to accept them or not. So if the TOR has not been followed, I mean, you don't expect, especially to say that someone promised you marriage or a marital contract, and then it's a choice to marry someone or not. So if you in the end change your mind, you can't be held liable for that, in my opinion. But in the end, I am not a lawyer, and I don't know if it's going to if the case is going to have any precedence on the case here in Gambia. One thing I know though, Gambia and Senegal do not practice the same law. We have common law in Gambia. It's a British, jurisdiction. And in Senegal, it is not a British jurisdiction, and the common law there might be different. But in the end, we leave it to the lawyers. But I think it's also a wake-up call for the Gambia, that when we're giving contracts, we make sure that we give it to people with reputable status and reputable standard, and people that are credible, so that the average taxpayer and the average Gambian is in the loser at the end.
That's very important. That's important. Hopefully our sister can come back home and just start her life all back
because it's been a break of 2 years or
more.
2 years or more.
Gone through so much in another country. Hopefully she can come back and rebuild her life and with her husband. We wish her all the best. Now let's go back to our topic today. Of course, Nenneh Cheyassin. Nenneh, first, tell us a little about yourself. Kan moy Nenneh Cheyassin Kebe, Madam Kebe.
Nenneh Cheyassin is the oldest daughter, the oldest child of Pap Cheyassin Seka and Safi Seka. She's an American-born Gambian. She is a mother. She's a wife. She's a business owner. She's a philanthropist. She's a best friend. She's all in one. She's all in all. There are lots of components to the one person.
You're an entrepreneur, a business person, obviously. Why do you opt politics? Why politics now at this stage in your life?
I think it was merely out of frustration. When I came to the Gambia 5 years ago, it was definitely not to join politics. I wanted to reconnect with my father's family because we lost him unexpectedly and there were so many unanswered questions. So I came back to reconnect through his family to build a relationship with people that I thought I had lost. And through that, I just fell in love with Gambia and never left. So I've been here the past 5 years.
You and your partner, Seho, who I interviewed here, nice young man, tried to set up the Gambia Golden Party.
Yes, the Golden Era Party.
The Golden Era Party.
Yes,
and the registration went to the IEC.
Correct.
And what happened? You didn't have the party registration. What exactly went wrong there?
A lot of things went wrong. First of all, before we even heard from IEC, we had already heard through the grapevine from a credible source that there were 6 groups vying for their licenses that were not going to get it.
They were not going to get it.
We knew we were not going to get it.
Wow.
So by the time they called us and sent us the letter, we were expecting it. So we weren't surprised.
But IEC said there were issues with your signatures and some other requirements that you did not meet. Okay. How did that have to do with not, getting
us
it just
not
because
getting
there
our
was,
license? First of all, you don't give 12,000 names and all 12,000 of those names are wrong. It's not humanly possible. It's not possible. Then second, you don't make that allegation without showing us documentation. We were told about it and we were not allowed to see the paperwork.
You were not allowed to see?
We were not allowed to see the paperwork. We sat there with them. We agreed to whatever it is they were saying because we didn't have a choice. We asked them for supporting documentation and they told us no. If you are in the court of law and you're making an accusation, you have to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
You can't come to me and tell me all 12,000 names we gave you are wrong and you don't give me the names. And then that's not just us you said that to. You said that to all 6 of the other parties.
Yeah.
It's not possible.
So the other argument that a lot of people said, and I thought that was important to bring out here, is that when IEC tells you go and regularize, they will tell you, oh, in Banjul you missed this. Can you go and supplement?
We did not have that.
You missed. But this time what they did was go and do it all over again.
All 12,000.
Yeah. Why? Did you ask why that? Because obviously
no, we were not allowed to ask why. It is what they said it was, and that was it. And there were some people who were saying at the table that they should file criminal charges against us because we had dead people's names on there. But what IEC doesn't know that those 12,000 names we gave them, we have copies of those 12,000 names in the lawyer's office. So if you genuinely believe that those 12,000 names were fraudulent, you bring the paper. You have us compare what we gave you plus what you have. But IEC is saying to us that, no, we have to go by their word. And that's it. So go back and redo the entire thing. It's not possible for the entire package to be wrong.
It's not.
It's not. So what does that tell you? IEC is not an independent body. I stand by that.
IEC is not independent?
They're not independent. They're not an independent body. I stand by that. Because if you were an independent body, you would go through everything legitimately and show documentation and proof. You are saying because you said so, so that's what it is. That is not democracy.
Yeah.
And we are being bullied to accept what they've said and not question it. And for them to threaten us to say at the table in front of us, someone at the table said it several times that we should be arrested.
Should be arrested for applying to be a party?
For having fraudulent names that they accused us of without proof. I felt like we were being bullied at the table. I felt like it was a show. They brought us there to just prove a point, but that the decision had already been made.
So now going through that with the IEC and having a prior information that you were not going to get.
It just validated what we already knew. We weren't surprised. We just went in to play ball, to play politics because it's the right thing to do. But we already knew that was what was going to happen. And you know the ways things happen here. Everybody gets upset for 1 or 2 days. People go out and protest for 3 or 4 days. And then we go back to our lives as normal.
Yeah,
we go back to our daily lives. And what I've noticed about us Gambians, if things don't affect us directly, or if it doesn't impact our lives directly, we don't give a damn.
But this is a serious allegation because this is election year.
It is. I'm very, very worried.
Right now, we are under voter registration.
And I'm very worried.
And you are telling us you think the IEC is not independent.
I'm not saying I think.
You know.
I know. And I stand by my statement.
The IEC is not independent.
They are not an independent
Obviously,
body.
we have had some allegations from the last election from the United Democratic Party about how they felt about the IEC. Now, and the IEC said they're working to improve whatever, they want to be more transparent. But if this is what you are saying now on record, it's scary going into elections.
Yes, I think Gambians should be very worried. It's not transparent. Everything is a show. They do that to pacify us, so we don't ask the questions, so that we don't follow through, and so that we don't follow up. But it's all a show. The decisions are already made before you and I get here. He controls it all.
Who controls it?
The president controls everything that is happening. This is just a show. We are playing with the big boys, and he's one of the big boys. It's unless we all come together and literally band together and say no against corruption, and say no against embezzlement, and say no, Gambia is not going to change. We are too divided. I see it already. Gambians are short-sighted. We want now. We want everything now. We don't want to suffer and put ourselves through it to get what we want for our children. Dun de halat sun domi, then buga sansete, then buga solute, then buga demeote, then buga $100 ite. Ken halatut ilik. That's the problem. Even now I see it, and I get to the point where I'm like, you know what? I'm not giving anybody any money.
Yeah.
I'm not. If you, who are the ones suffering as much as you are, and you don't get it, you don't want a change, you don't want to make a difference, I'm not paying that $10,000 or $20,000 for me to come and talk to you. I'm not doing it.
Doing that.
Because then we're setting the wrong precedents. We're sending the wrong message. This has the things that are happening in Gambia has to bother us so much that we ourselves as a people have to want the change. And I don't see that. We want the temporary fix. You want me to go to the cafe. You want that 10 or 20,000 now. Langabuga new feature, new watan, new continue ilik. Why by at the end of the month, amulo halis putoga aksadomi, school mungetech, nakanga lige full dencha sa halis put fair at school fees. Sadomi you graduate high school, muninyo laka English, they cannot pass standardized exams. Sadomi you get them Judith sendomi, fufulanyo ganyu. There is no infrastructure. Nothing works. But nobody is frustrated enough to give a damn.
Hopefully somebody will be by December. I don't know. But I want to come back to the IEC issue. Kemo, I'll come back to you. But, you know, today is our show, so I just want to exhaust that. I'll come. So now, when that happened, you met the IEC. Why didn't you guys go back and redo everything and come back? At least have a party, the Gambia Golden Era Party.
Very good question.
Wow.
They said to us that by March 31st, they are not looking at anybody's paperwork.
They told you that?
They told us that to our faces. And my lawyer was there, Sekou was there, and we had 2 other representatives. So this information that I'm telling you is verifiable stuff. You don't have to go by what I'm saying. He told us, the head of IEC said, after March 31st, everyone has to wait until 2027. He said, because we are now focusing on registering people. So you are saying an entire government agency cannot multitask. They cannot have a department that is following through on registration, and they cannot have a department that's working on voter registration. What does that say about us as a government? We cannot multitask? So, by the time you hear from us, and by the time you come back, it's going to be pointless. You might as well wait until 2027. Because doing lal Katie can. So John, we didn't hear from you until February. What are we going to do between February and March 31st? It's not enough time. Because you're telling us to do the entire package over. You knew giving us that package in February to tell us to finish it by March, in a month, or 6 weeks or 8 weeks is unrealistic. You knew that. So that's why you did that. It's all planned. It doesn't take a blind man to see this.
So are you saying that the IEC does not want to register you as a party and all the other 6?
Yes.
That is why you never went back?
Yes. And that's what's happened. Those who went back, who tried to do their paperwork and submitted, ask them if they've heard anything back.
You guys went back.
Yes.
You went and resubmitted.
Yes, we did.
You did?
Yeah.
Are you hearing from the IEC?
We have been in communication with them, and we're waiting for them to get back to us officially. So the laws are set up in a way that it makes it very difficult to have a benchmark of a time where the negotiations or when you get your paper back. Because, but IEC also cannot stop anybody from registering a political party.
The fact that they told them that they're not going to look at anybody after March 31st.
I think that was a bluff. I do not think IEC has the right to do that.
Yeah.
But I may be wrong, but I doubt it. Because even if it's... so we need to have we have an election timetable.
Yeah.
But an election timetable also needs to also include when parties or party registration ends.
Yeah.
It cannot be at the discretion of a single individual or the IEC itself.
Yeah.
And I think this is why we have continued to call for electoral reforms.
Yeah.
Because even it's your right, your fundamental right to register a political party or any political institution you feel can vie for presidency. Because it's a fundamental human right to associate.
Yeah.
But I think I agree mostly with what she has said, because some of those reasons were why we were also told to go back. Yeah. But being people who believe in the process, we went back, and because we had submitted 30,000 signatures.
Yes.
Theirs was 12, but ours was 30,000.
And everything was...
Yeah, I mean, our signatures were not really an issue. Ours were more of technical issues, like I've mentioned in the past.
Yeah, they said UMC, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But why would they tell you to go and redo the entire
So it's the same thing she's saying. I think in as much as I do believe also they're under current hands. But this is a general notion that the general public has, that parties like Unite are NPP's biggest headache. Now it's up to IEC to also fulfill its credibility position, to show Gambians that we are indeed credible and that we are not under the control of any individual. I know certain individuals in IEC who I believe will not compromise their credibility. One like Cherno Jallo, who has served internationally for many, many years and has served distinguishedly, in many capacities, globally. Now that he is the deputy head of the Electoral Commission, I believe he will bring that integrity, to the table. And many other people that, I don't want to go into mentioning names. But generally, we want to keep on following the process so that tomorrow nobody comes and says, well, they didn't follow the process. So we will follow the process to the best of our ability, and we will let it to the IEC to do what they're supposed to do.
Are you worried about what Nenneh is saying? That somebody told them that there are 6 political parties that have filed in and none of them will be registered?
We're not, because we're confident that Unite will be on the ballot.
Okay.
And 2, even if Unite is not on the ballot, our candidate will be on the ballot.
On the ballot.
Yes, IEC cannot stop that. And only God can stop that. Yes.
Only God can stop that. Now, when you guys did not get the party registration, you were strategic enough.
Yeah.
You joined the PPP.
We joined the PPP party.
But, a lot of people said, how democratic was that process? PPP was an established party.
Correct.
And you guys came in. I
know, people say
how democratic was that to just come and take over the party, be the presidential and vice presidential candidate?
We
how
didn't take over the party.
was you did? How democratic was that process?
We aligned. We really, really aligned.
Okay.
Our ideas aligned.
Okay.
By the time we spent the 3rd day with them, we were finishing each other's sentences. Usman Marike Fall had a vision for the party, and I felt like Sheku and it was a perfect fit. And people say to me all the time, how much money did you give them? Was there money involved? PPP is a legacy party. And for someone like me, the person I'm trying to represent, my father was a person of much respect, and he has a legacy to protect. He worked too hard. So there are some things that I just will not do. It's just beneath me. I have too much of integrity to do that.
Yeah.
There's too much at stake to do that. And there, at no point in our conversations was money involved. So when people say that, it's actually insulting.
Yeah.
There are people who believe in integrity and run a campaign based on truth and respect. And that's what Usman Madi Kefa brought to us.
Yeah.
And we just aligned. Within a week, he was saying to us we should meet with everyone in the party. We had meetings.
But
people voted within.
But there are people in the executive who are in PPP. I'm not sure if they are in the executive. I saw one of the shows here on the brunch where somebody was questioning the process. He said, and I think they are even, I know there are some court issues also going on with the party, but they are saying when time comes to select the flag bearer, there will be a process. Seku cannot automatically be the flag bearer of the party. So what do you say to that?
I say that decision had already been made as a group.
Okay.
And it's part of their, it's in their constituents.
Okay.
It's written in there. If you're a member of the party.
Yeah.
And they can vote.
Okay.
And when we became members of the party first.
Yes, you did.
So we just didn't walk in and had the position. But also, you have to understand that PPP has been around for 65 years.
Yeah.
They were very dormant, to be honest.
Yeah, you guys
have a dormant party.
Honestly,
and we have revived the party.
Yeah.
And there's something Sheku and I bring to the table.
What's
that I know for a fact that if they had elected anyone within that party, they wouldn't have gotten the level of exposure they're getting now. Because the PPP party was around all this time. The older generation were relating to the party, but they had lost the youth.
Yes.
They had lost that platform. And I think Sheku and I bring that. We've been able to revive the party. We've made sure that we are part of the conversations. That wasn't happening before. So you have to give credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
It's not just about electing someone because you feel like I'm related to that person or because that person is Muslim or Christian. You have to make sure the people you elect are electable. They have to be people that people will vote for. They have to be likable.
Yeah.
They have to come with personalities that differentiate them from the norm. And I know Sheku and I do that.
Yeah.
We are always part of the political conversation. And we just got here. We've only been around for 9 months.
And you are really shaking up. No.
So there's something we do different.
Okay.
That the average Gambian politician doesn't do. And we need to shake up politics a little bit. And I think we've been able to do that.
Now, what would a Seku Nenneh government look like? You have seen
what this
9 years of President Barrow is. What would be a Seku Nenneh government look? What would it look like?
A Seku Nenneh government would include hard work. It will be based on the integrity. It will be based on fairness. Everyone will be treated equally and will all have the same opportunity. It will be based on integrity. It will be based on a leader that can articulate and explain himself properly and know what he is talking about. It will be based on somebody that is respected and valued. It will be based on integrity, trust. It will be based on someone who can take us to the 21st century. Gambia is at 174 out of 191 countries in the world when it comes to development. So we need someone that understands the 21st century, that is actually going to be able to have conversations that are in the best interest of Gambians. We don't want our children going through the back way. We want our children to finish school and actually have careers in Gambia. I don't want the newspapers writing that we now have visas for 500,000 youth to go work in Spain and make $200-300 in Spain when they can work here and make $500 a month. We need to change that mentality. And the way we've gone the last 9 years, we are worse off now than we were when Jammeh was here. Gambia has regressed. There's not one department in this cabinet right now that Barrow is proud of. What has he done?
The infrastructure?
As far as infrastructure. The roads, we can't live off the roads. And the roads alone.
Electricity?
You
were just complaining that you couldn't have.
I was just going to say
Barrow said we had excess. Ako nga, kurang siya telephone ka but Nenneh said we are good.
We're in crisis.
We are in crisis because you keep increasing the usage without increasing the amount of voltage and the watts that we use. So, which means that an area needs to have blackout for another area to have light. Water and light are a human right.
Yeah.
Why is it being used as a pawn to control how we behave? And why should we as Gambians accept that? It is our money. It is our taxes. It is our resources. This government is treating us like they're doing us a favor. We say no to that. These are the conversations we need to have. We need to create awareness to let people know that President Barrow is not doing us a favor. Increasing 200 poles to take us to up the provinces when 6 months from now, those poles are either not going to be working or we don't have enough voltage to provide light for them. It's not providing light.
Kemo, Barrow said we have, the president was up country a few weeks back for the rural education. They connecting every area in the rural areas. But what we are experiencing here around in the Combos is very terrible these days. The president openly said it on camera that
what does that
mean? That means we have enough capacity. Now we're storing some of it.
That is not true.
But Nawek is telling us yesterday that if the way things are going,
we are in crisis already.
Yes.
That is what Gallo said.
What do you make of what is happening right now with our electricity?
Also, I'd just like to ask, is it possible that I speak in local languages?
Yes, we should. I think we should do that, local language. Everyone is saying, Wolof Mandinka.
Okay, so ndia mera President Barrow kamemfo. First of all, tonyalo mu electricity is important like Nenneh memfo.
Yeah.
Geoding kurang wo mu kultimi alon ko mo be nyanta sotora. But we are in 2025. Mantara 1993 economy alon ko people nyanta scramble la for electricity. Niade bi Gambia dingol ba celebrate la because polo futate yale and then kurang bi na wo manke kuti mo nyanta kontan la menna atandile ko Gambia ko mabakele katun dunia ko neta dawo da molo ka titar men na walam ko nga kurang sutole. So in 2025 kiang membe jang koma jang dinnu wala ba fintila bantay ba don ibe don ne be ko kala kari kontanta ko kurang futate yale woto aminda ko the governance process in the Gambia has failed the Gambian people in as much as yes development law but aketa wato men later and people would say it's better late than never done bari to nyalo wote bari niaji be namo men jota nin kodo men kasata in bankoka anin julol mel tata yaji be development o fulata dami kuti me alon ko amu balafa dalti bari ko ndaka men fodoro wolum ko development mu process lati andong mobi kanali yeta ndaka men fo sanje tan dandata akayan telefona president Barrow hanna e muneke bankoka nte I believe ko ni sanji tanke wonyanta kanya do finance na do ko because ning b kudeta keta 1994 because ya jame ko jawar overstated anako corruption 2016 nga Barrow elect nko because ya jame overstated and corruption wala bija bi Barrow ninga ganyeta ngata 15 years lela sanji lulla bani ya jame tema andu ninga lora ninga winter 2026 2031 belola alkote so how is he different from ya jame ning sadawda kamelfo andu ngo corruption kilo hansa wala nanka ko there's nothing new under the Gambian sun kabri 1962 when we went on to win that election, that legislative election, purka independence sort of. Up to this day, nothing has changed. So what kole akilimo na mol hani be 2025 or 2026 actually. People in Kiang yo kuranku men kumboka. Kabri 1965 ko kuranku kule wal kumbo. So isa avo control be kombole ntol ka fo is a right but it all you know nsafo ko ntol privilege it's a privilege for them. But it will attend ko Gambia mam futa nyanta futala dane. Because it got to a point we were getting electricity from Senegal.
Yes.
It got to a point.
We still do.
Yes, we still do. Yeah, we still do. It got to a point we had to anchor a ship in our waters.
Yeah.
For control serve electricity land. Wobota je be Gambia di won la kodo kasare Gambia di won la kodo sunya wakang. For kapa wanyanta let us have ka ko alla julu mantarantol. Where I mentandi wolam ko these people are taking us for a ride. But for me ndaka for wolam ko granted development is important, but no president can do it all.
No president.
If you serve 10 years, I think it's enough.
It's enough.
No matter what you've done, 10 years is enough for everybody.
Nene, Kemo, I'm solo. Gambia, for how many years are we today? 60?
60, yes.
60 something years. We only have 3 presidents. That means minimum what every president does is
15.
Jawara was 30. Jammeh was 22, and Barrow is aspiring to go to 15.
And when he gets to 15, he will ask for another 5.
Now, why should Gambians vote for Barrow? Kemo said something, I'm not Solomoi, nobody can do it all. Governance is continuity. Do you think it is logical to give President Barrow that time for America?
First of all, sufe kone lola halaton duma talk fi.
Okay.
Suma frustration. Mota ma talk fi.
Wow. Luta horo inko kojo.
Because he's inept. He hasn't done a good job. Last year, the worst GCE grades were from Gambia. When I visit, sumade me see schools. Amundo. So them see bathrooms be.
Yeah.
It is about to be 90 to 95 degrees out here. The classrooms don't have fans. Non la haledi toges in classrooms. For why when you check the president's budget, last year alone, he spent $1 billion on the president's office.
Yeah.
Why should Gambians accept that? And when I say $1 billion, that is inconceivable. And I'm tired of hearing about the roads. I'm tired of the floods. I'm tired of the roads. They are trash carriers. Why are you talking about the roads? Why don't we have engineers who built a sewage system for the water to have somewhere to go? Every year, hale inyunge ganyofi because of the drainage system. Why are you proud of the roads? There's nothing to be proud of.
Because at least we can drive on something small.
And those roads are loans. It's not coming from Gambians.
Well, we have to pay for it.
We have to pay for it. It was money that he took as loans. And our great-grandchildren will be paying these loans back. We are about $130 billion in debt. If we don't find a way if we don't create resources to be able to pay off our debt, the banks that are giving us the loans, the IMFs and the World Banks and the United Nations and all these people that are giving us these grants and these loans, eventually the roosts will come home. And guess what? All our resources will go to paying these debts. We should not accept what we're getting. I am frustrated. I feel like sometimes I need to bang my head against the wall because this is basic 1 + 1 is 2. If you can't pay the debt you already have, why are you still taking loans?
And also, not to interject, but it's important to also note that the loans President Barrow has taken and the debt we have to pay as a country, what he's taken in the last 5 years is more than what President Jawara and Jammeh put together.
Combined. Yes.
Yeah.
Why should we accept that? We have a president whose wife, every time I say this, he gets pissed off, but it's true. She spends $150,000 a day on the past Gambia.
Yeah.
Lolu du fendegala.
Yeah.
Mom si bopam office ambi $1 billion la leka just last year.
Yeah.
Wake up.
And you know, one thing you said, you know, before the budget of the office of the president and the vice president was one.
But
this year
is separate. They go separate.
And it's now even more.
It's more. And this is just the office of the president.
Yeah.
Just the first job at Laiwade. I'm not adding any for me. Come tomorrow. I'll be here waiting. The first job alone is spending $150,000. They did.
Kiso ay mujhe 150 kilo sa mujhe 150. What la?
This is ridiculous. We should be laughing.
It's serious.
Gambia, we're in trouble. And I'm not saying we have all the answers.
Yeah.
But I'm saying you can surround yourself with like-minded people who give a damn about the process.
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen to our children, your children, if this debt continues? We cannot afford another 5 years.
And the donor fatigue, because last year, we saw the minister come back to the assembly asking for supplementary
budget
because some of the promises that they had from the donor agencies were not fulfilled because obviously there were issues of physical issues,
discipline,
you know, discipline and others.
Yeah, because just to add on to that, Fatou, if an international organization or your international partner says that they are going to give you a loan, you have to reach some criteria.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Gambia hasn't been able to do that. And this is why most of the international partners didn't give us the loans or even the grants that we're supposed to be given. I think that also is a cause of alarm, especially when it comes to governance in our context, because it shows that the international community has lost faith in the government of the Gambia and the process. And I think these are important that people know about these things. And this is why the government has to run back to us through our parliament and ask for violence and ask for supplementary budgets. In the end, we have to pay for them, because this is why taxes get increased, because we are a tax-based economy. We don't produce. Everything we do, we have to, is imported. Everything is based on tax. So if the country doesn't have money, we have to be taxed more so that the country continues. If that doesn't happen.
What we have seen yesterday, the Gambia Revenue Authority is saying they collected 7.7 first quarter alone. But I tell people that is coming from us.
Exactly.
The people.
Yeah, so it's not a cause for celebration.
Yeah.
Right? And also when you look at the businesses, so even when it comes to value-added tax, you look at the industries we have in Gambia and also the businesses. How many businesses are owned by Gambians, right? And majority of the tax or the income being made, for example, when you talk about economic growth, is lost through capital flight. Because then these businessmen have to export the money to their countries or even have to buy products. So what happens is the finances keep on leaving the country and you really have nothing to show for it. So I keep saying this and I get attacked a lot by NPP guys. But if you say we've had a growth in economy, which is 6%, how is it reflective in the lives of the Gambian people? Because today we have to pay more for transportation.
But inflation has increased 20%.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
no, they said inflation. Did you see the MPC report? The inflation has gone down in Gambia.
I'm going by what is on Google. I'm not going by what they're saying.
Yeah, and
I pulled out this paper to make a point. This is from the minister's office, Minister of Finance's office.
Yeah.
This is the budget that he gave out last year. This is 2025.
Yes.
He's saying that they were going to spend 29.8 billion, according to this. But they spent 34.9 billion.
Yes.
This is 2023. 2024, it was 34.9 billion.
Yeah.
But they spent 39.4 billion.
Wow.
2025, the estimate was 44.8 billion.
Oh my God.
But they've spent 47.4 billion. This is from the Office of Budget.
Yes. They do the same.
They do this every year.
With the meet the people store. They give them a budget of 100,000. They spend 20,000.
Why do you need to provide the president our taxes and our resources for him to go campaign and tell us what he's doing? That Meet the People tour makes no sense to me. It's a campaign. He's using the Gambians people's funds and their resources to campaign and convince them for another 5 years. There should be no convincing. You should look at your life today, compare it to 5 years ago, and compare it to 10 years ago, and be able to make the decisions you need for you and your family. If you're buying a bag of rice for $3,400 for something that was $2,500 less than 2 years ago, you already know the country is not going in the direction you want.
But we are in this situation right now, and of course, when President Barrow took over, COVID-19 mu ñëw. So every other hardship lu Gambians complain rek ñu ne ñu COVID-19. Buñ fa jógee Ukraine war mu ñëw. Every other thing lu Gambians complain ñu ne fal mal mbekere Ukraine kilo bekere. Now
man xam nga lu tax ma retire.
Wow.
Ma wax la li bala ma lose my train of thought.
Yeah.
At 2021. Is because my business benefited financially from COVID.
Yeah.
So Gambia is the only country that I know that in the fact, people were in worse situations before and after COVID.
And during COVID, there was more funding.
Yes. There was more funding in the country, but they lost more money. So make it make sense.
Yeah.
So there's some things that when they come out and say to you, people should be able to reason and know that is BS.
Yeah.
Because I retired at 2021 because of the funding we all had in our businesses in America.
Yeah.
I was able to grow my business and pay off my debt, and we became more profitable. COVID was very good to me. Because for those who paid their taxes and ran their business efficiently, you were able to go to the government, you were able to show a loss, and they were able to match your income. So make it make sense.
And there were a lot of funding, yes.
There was a lot of money that was pumped into the system.
Yeah.
How come we're in a worse situation now than we were then?
Because we had the Ukraine war, and obviously...
And the other thing that is driving me crazy now is not even the Ukraine war, it's the war right now.
In Iran.
Yeah, but I mean, I think...
they're using that as
but then with that, the
Yeah.
Minister of Information was asked in London, or I don't know where he was.
Yes.
And then he said the Gambia hasn't felt
It's
the
not
shock.
been affected yet.
Yeah.
I was just going to tell you that.
Yeah. So
that
would
if the
be
Gambia
contradictory.
is affected by the shock of the war between Iran and America, that shows an efficient government, because you're supposed to have reserves in case of an emergency. So you saying every time a country sneezes,
we catch cold.
we catch cold. That's not an effective government.
But that's why you have government. You are supposed to have preparation.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
You have to have.
Yeah, just to add on to Lolo, lu nene wax dëgg la, because man dama ko wax ci suma wax yu bari. And after the First World War, Europe had a plan to rebuild Europe, and then foofu lañ amé pact bi nga xamné NATO sax foofu la jóge.
Yeah.
Nga doge fofu, after the Second World War, they had something called the Marshall Plan, which was to rebuild Europe. And then during the Marshall Plan, luñ doon xool mooy naka la ñoo build the economies. Ñun, even after the 2008 global recession, Europe or the West amoon nañ plan on how to build the economies. Fofu la cryptocurrencies and other
all these secondary forms
because
of funding.
then how do we move away from cash transactions, or how do we move away from mortgage systems, or how do we move away from systems? It really depends on Wall Street. How do we move from an era the Wall Street doesn't determine the highs and lows, right? Ñun Ebola happened on Nafi. We never had a plan post Ebola.
Yeah.
COVID happened. Te lum def dafa expose suñ system bi nga xamne dafa weak. The health system, our markets. The economy, the teaching system, because kids couldn't go to school.
Yeah.
We never really built a plan post-COVID.
Yeah.
Puru said naka la ñoo xeexee bu ñu amee that situation again. So ñu jógee si loolu amoon plan. Russia Ukraine am. ñu ne urea dafa increase price moo tax farmers yi léegi from 1,700 dañoo jëndee saaku fertilizer 2,800. ñu ne flour dafa increase because mu ngi jógee from the Balkan Balkan states léegi mburu yokku na to 12 from $10 to $12 tey ñu ngi face Iran US war bi cert ñu ngi ko tëj fuel mënut a ñëw tey price of fuel jumped now from $86 to $98.
But the minister said we are not affected.
That shows you the minister doesn't even know what's going on in this country. And it just shows they're so detached from the reality.
Somebody's lying.
Yeah, well, he is, anyway. but I didn't want to say that. But what I'm going to say is that he is detached from the reality. Because, I mean, even man mi nga xamne du ma economist, xam naa ne global shocks dafa am impact on economies like ours ñi nga xamne depend solely on what global trends ñoo nekk di go on. I mean, if bigger economies are still struggling, what about an economy mi nga xamne benn state or benn dëkk suñ boor fii, benn city moo ko ëppa? Because the economy of Lagos is bigger than Gambia's economy, for example.
Yeah.
So these are basic. It's not rocket science. So foog nga understand ni and so minister si bopam di talk sa platform mu foog ne dafa nekk di defend government bi di wax yi nga xam ne amut. I think it just talks about how decayed the system itself is, because there's no credibility, there's no honesty, there's no straightforwardness, but people sit and think they can fool Gambians and they can fool the general public, not knowing or even knowing but not caring ne li dafa am repercussions si ñun.
For me, my angle is it just shows how inefficient our government is. Because we've gone through COVID. We've gone through other catastrophic events that has affected us as a whole. We should have backup plans for the backup plan. Why don't we still have backup plans? Why is it everything that happens outside of Gambia still affecting the everyday Gambia? So you are saying you want us to go another 5 years with that level of instability? Why should we accept that? We say no. So if you care about your future and your children's future, President Barrow is not it. He hasn't done anything in 9 years that he can run on the next 5 years. Dinalanyo Johmalo Mburu, dinalanyo Nehal Wahlalo Mugadiga, in Ubi borehole, at a time when we're in the 21st century, we shouldn't even be talking about boreholes. But that's where we are as a country. Fine. Dinayna Ubil borehole. Or dinayna defa promises him defa 9 years ago. It's the same promises that he's running on now.
Yeah.
His speech last week is saying, Johma another 5 years so I can finish the roads.
Yeah.
That should not be acceptable.
And just to add on to that, even rural electrification project being a hamnala President Barrow the teeter about. After door depuis 1970s, si time is allowed.
Yes.
Sara rajoge fofu ya jamenyo with the OMVG.
Yeah.
Mom si time am la implement. So more man suma low life do money. Governance is a process. Danga def sa boss kenen ñew. So mom du ko mëna jekali.
Yeah.
So even the OIC conference bumowa depuis 1993 Saudawda mugo na def OIC Gambia.
Yeah.
Ñu jógee foofu President Jammeh the same thing, he was in the process ba moom mu ñëw si time am mu implement ko. So President Jammeh tamit, you talk about the University of the Gambia, it was part of the PPP's 5-year development plan. You talk about the Gambia Radio and Television Services, it was part of the PPP's 5-year development plan. So all of these are things yi nga xam ne benn government mënu koo def da nga def sa boss ñëw. And just to add on to Nenneh lu mu doon wax ñu ngi si registration time. And dañoo ñëw, especially government, because government luñ dee def mooy ne dañoo use poverty as a means of negotiation.
Wow.
ñu jox la ñu ne la jox saaku maalo ne la jox $5,000 or so pour nga sànnil government bi, because we have seen it. Even si by elections yu dee am sa ñu ne la ne soo leen bëggee development, vote for government's candidate. But moo wax Gambia nii dara te naa ko si olof naa ko si soose. Saaku maalo, let's say it's $2,300.
Yeah.
$2,300 pour benn saaku maalo ñu jox la saaku maalo bi nga divide ko in 5 years. It means I think it's $430 or so every year. But $430 boobu tam nga divide ko by 12 months. It's $38. Mu ngi noonu ñu ngi jënd sa carte bi $38 every month pour nga sànnil baro carte pour ñu keep la in poverty. Man ko nka men fodoro wolom ko mba election wala karola. And election o do na sita mani botol nin ko ka fintile molu ka na alkay sa fale ko nalla fa soneala wala nafala al ni mani boto fele. andu jama menga ke kafu ko me dasa modi la na ko embe konto ni si modi la mba dile la bari hannin ko man boto mu wuli fula keme sabaleti wala $2,300 on average ni ko sanji lulu ye wo $2,300 ta wala man boto ta akam do ko ite la carte wafile $430 sanwosa baro sanwosa mfana ni nata wo fanan talantala yake sidula tanin fulodi wala kare akam do ko dalasi tan sabanin sey ite la carte wafi wala karo kare so ni ajibe ita ba kole amen ko be bata men ko be ibatalla yangan kato men kono fo a jarta wo dalas tan sabonin sey wala ba ñin ñanda kala miral ko kadu ninta ka politiko fo kala file ngake bread and butter issues because nin kan dat nyol fo nganin kudol fo nte bari member badibu amanke ako he has $56,000 on his head because anena maje andu ama fata biyo fata soma bang amang amate wati because I mean anena man benefit ala but na lonko esanso bi men dala fata aba impact so tata kadu wotumo nae moto ta kabo bara kana kerewan aba cost la men bi naje ko wala fata aje ko ning banna salo sita aka sadio leon sanu menna bi ni wo moto bokan Senegal anada fa karang na esanso sang wo esanso be impact so la price to de nye de malal mel kata ba kono e ka esanso men sampuri akela mason ko ta nye mutola bi wo be impact so la le on nyewo kay be men wa filan tolma yaji hani musol nyanda njayol melaka fengol bonde gadi nolte ka samana Marcel to ikam paso men jobi kadum paso la fatale ila wala jumol fananda be la fala woku sifal nyanta wala ka chala gambe dingol ya understand ko nyim global economic shocks aka impact soto to la dunia balota nyame but niko moy ko Iran ning Iraq be Iran ning America be kelola ye you know kulungol men nyanta tulo samana ne yolle muta price of barrel of oil alafatale from $87 to $100 and something dollars. Atema understand.
Ate affect nyame.
Iba wale fala asala.
Nene lulu amna solo the impact of heavy lim am suñ economy ñun suñ personally tay gis na demba KMC driver ñu ngi joté ak passengers yi because ñu ngi yok ñom yok nañ pump price bi si essence bi. Why driver yi tamit nak su dee ñu ko jëndee at higher price ñoom tam yokk nañ seen passes léegi man customer bi man mi nga xam ne maa de jël taxi maa doon fay $7 léegi dama war a fay $10 or $9 the impact of this price yo shock bi lan la am si ordinary Gambian bi.
It's very immediate and it's very shocking because the average Gambian, let's say their income is $5,000 every month. There should be subsidies, even in places like America. There are subsidies that are in place. When things happen, the government is able to absorb some of those subsidies until things quiet down. But we don't seem to have that cushion here. That's what the problem is. So you are voting for a system that has been around for 9 years that does not care about the everyday bread and butter issues that are affecting your life. So sunyo la malo dulin aklolun, just like he was saying, that is very temporary.
Yeah.
He's giving you what already belongs to you. Sen halis lai jail pour campaign. Sula johe, jail kongale kako, paski sa boss la. Why so duge fofu? You vote for your future. You vote for your children's future. Danko wara jail, paski yanko sola.
Yeah.
Why? He hasn't done anything to show you that he cares about you as a Gambian. He hasn't. So for me, I just feel like we will continue to talk about it, to educate people, to beat it down their heads, to make sure they see what we see and to understand why we're frustrated. But Gambians, we as a nation, as a people, we're the ones who really need to wake up and care about ourselves and put ourselves first. And I don't see that.
You don't see that. Well, you know, 2016, buñ doon change Yaya Jammeh, luñ waxoon mooy Yaya Jammeh bu dee liggéey la benn président infrastructure wise moom dafa xajaanoon samp na fi tali moo fi indi GRTS moo fi indi university looy di airport bi looy dégg infrastructure yu ma yi nga dégg ni yëpp moom moo ko fi indi waaye Gambian si ñu bari dañ fiiloon ne dafa entrench boppam si dëkk bi dafa toog te dañ bëggoon change because Jawara yaagoon na fi loolu moo tax Jammeh ñëw mu ne loolu moo tax mu ne because Jawara dafa yaaga fi moo tax moom mu ñëw def coup d'état loo xam ne sax is illegal mu génne Jawara moom mu ñëw toog.
And then that was one of the reasons why even the change of government had a lot of legitimacy because people
were exhausted for 30 years. moom mu ñëw moom tam bi mu ñëwee mu entrench boppam 22 years ñu ne nañ indi Barrow. waaye tey Barrow mu ngi 10 years Barrow tamit mu ne ñu jox ko beneen 5 years ndax Gambia.
So Fatou,
what does this mean for our democracy? Because
I've told you everything is an illusion. You keep bringing it back to the point I was making.
And this is what I said earlier.
Yeah.
I said nothing has changed under the Gambian sun since independence. Because it's the same things that we're crying over. Basic necessities. Clean drinking water. For example, I come from Bakau.
Yeah.
Majority, I mean, NAWEC itself and the Ministry of Health has told us not to drink tap water in Bakau. Because it's not safe.
Wow.
But how many people afford bottled water? So these are the issues that we need to be focused on as a country. And like I like saying a lot of times, the issue of term limits, it's not a legal issue. It's a moral issue.
Correct.
And President Barrow, if he's morally etiquette, needs to take the position to understand that I made a promise of 3 years. From that promise of 3 years,
changed to 5.
I stayed for 5. I said I needed the first term to complete the reforms I wanted to complete. From 5, I said, okay, I contested as an independent candidate. Now I'm contesting, so that doesn't count. So I'm contesting now as an MPP candidate. Now he has done 10 years. And now he wants to continue and do another 5 years.
To complete the roads.
Yes, to complete the roads. And the roads will never be completed.
And the development agenda.
Because no matter where you go, no country has tarred road everywhere.
Even America are building every day.
You go to places like Kentucky and
they're building every day.
So I don't think it's the right excuse. But I think our generation as young Gambians need to also put a check in place to tell the governors that it is time and we understand the games that are being played. But we want to take responsibility for our own future. And I think President Barrow and the MPP are taking us for a ride. And until we are ready to hold on to stand firm and defend our rights as a people, they will continue to do so. Every government we have had in this country has taken us for a ride, unfortunately.
Taking us for a ride, the minister yesterday, the justice minister, said
it was a mistake.
It was regrettable that Ousseynou was taken back to Mile 2 without a court order. The first thing I kept asking when they arrested Ousseynou
wasn't he found not guilty?
The court acquitted him.
Acquitted under the court of law.
And then he was released at the Mile 2. The police arrested him, took him to the headquarters and brought him back to Mile 2, and he slept there. In the morning, we woke up and I started asking who gave the order. What was the order? What order was used? Because there was no court order. They just took an innocent guy who was released by the court and took him back to Mile 2. But the minister yesterday said it was regrettable. And
then next minute we see that someone has been appointed internationally to become the prosecutor for the country.
But who? Now, what happens if the minister himself said this was illegal? It was an illegal thing.
The reason I am referencing that is because it shows that there's a breakage of communication in the Ministry of Justice. Because if, for example, the minister himself admits that it is illegal, then it means someone else is giving the orders at the Ministry of Justice.
I was going to say.
And then now that we have a prosecutor appointed who is external, it means that the government or the executive doesn't even have faith in the system and the Attorney General.
Correct.
It is either two things. They don't have faith because they feel that he's incompetent and his team is incompetent, or they don't have faith in him because they feel he wouldn't do their bidding.
But I think the reason why they had that prosecutor for the TRRC is because of some of the international laws, and they wanted.
It was a little too quick.
They wanted to internationalize.
I think those are reasons, but when you look at the coincidence, I think it's just
too coincidental.
It's too aligning.
It's too aligning. Life doesn't happen that way.
Nothing happens by luck, in my opinion. Everything is by design.
But what do you think of that? the minister himself confirming that
it
was
means,
an illegal order and it was regrettable.
Someone else is pushing.
Yeah. But does that mean in bigger...
Fatou, you heard the president himself in a meeting say Ousseynou is guilty.
Guilty.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and then it means the NPP and the president have no regard for the
rule
courts
of law.
And the rule of law.
Correct.
And the ministry and what the ministry stands for. Because,
And for me, my personal take, when I heard the president say that, I kind of lost respect for him. Because that means he doesn't understand the process. And he doesn't understand the judicial system and how it really works. If someone is found not guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, the conversation is over. You cannot prosecute someone based on a feeling. And he was saying it because that's how
emotion.
He felt.
Yeah.
He was going by emotion. And that's the person we have leading an entire country.
President?
And for me, that's what I took away from it. I saw incompetence.
Did you hear the rant?
I'm sorry?
Did you hear the rant about the UDP leader?
That the UDP leader that
has
a hand in it. Well, he's allowed to make those outlandish accusations.
But we cannot.
But we cannot. And we're supposed to be a democracy. Told you it was a farce.
And I also just want to say something. With what Nenneh has said, I think we give a lot of room for the president to wiggle. Because I don't think he's ignorant of the law. I think he is blatantly doesn't have regard
for the law.
So President Barrow knows everything
that is going on.
And he knows everything that he's doing, but he doesn't care.
He doesn't.
Because he feels that he is the supreme power. And this is what's going to happen if he wins in 2026. He will become a dictator.
Yes.
And I'm saying it here, and it can be written in stone.
If he wins,
he will become a dictator. He has already showed tendencies.
Yeah, he has the tendencies already.
So
he's saying right now, because he feels that the person that has a stamp is affiliated with another party, so automatically the stamp should be taken away from that person. But again, this is the same president who went to a mosque and openly gave $30,000 to a mosque. Why do you think he does that?
He has given millions.
Millions. Let's just say that was the one they accidentally posted because they didn't even realize what they had done. Because once they posted that, this happened about 6 to 7 months ago. Once they posted it, people were like, why are you giving money to a mosque? He does that so that the alcalos and those that are in charge can preach about his work and can tell people who to vote for. This is all a game to him. He's not thinking about how this is affecting people's lives. No.
Talking about voter registration, the voter registration started this week.
Yes, started on the 8th.
On the 8th, and right now it's ongoing. It's going to be about 6 weeks. We're doing a show starting this Monday, civic education. So go register your vote, your voice, and just to encourage people to register. What is your observation first on the voter registration? Have you gone to the field? Have you seen anything? What is going on? What is your party, PPP, doing?
We were out. I was out today. I actually tried to get my voter's registration card today. I was told I need to bring my father's death certificate.
Are you not a Gambian?
Well, my parents are Gambian, but I was born in the United States. So according to the Constitution, if your parents are Gambian, you are a Gambian.
Yeah.
So I took my birth certificate.
You have a Gambian birth certificate?
No, I don't, because I wasn't born here.
But do you have a Gambian documentation?
No, I do not. I was told to bring my birth certificate according to the Constitution. It says. So I took it there.
Hey, how can you run for a president, vice president, when you don't even have a documentation?
What do you mean I don't have a
document? Do you have
an
ID card?
I have the ID card.
Gambia ID card?
Yes, I
do. That should automatically...
That should be.
You should be able to register with that.
But I don't know where I put it. I didn't want to look this morning. When I took my birth certificate, it says Pap Cheyassin Usman Seka on there. So I'm reading the Constitution. I go online. It says, if your parents are Gambians, you're automatically a Gambian. I have my birth certificate. It's showing who my parents are.
So
my
now you have to go get an attestation signed by the alcalde then.
Yeah. So now I have to do that. But it doesn't say that on the Constitution when I read it.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you have to get attested by
the Electoral Act. Yeah. So and I think this is
now
why...
I have to... So you see what happened?
Yeah.
It's not my fault. It doesn't state that on there. It says if your parents are Gambians, you're automatically a Gambian.
And I think this is why we have said that.
So I took the birth certificate to show that Pap Cheyassin Usman Seka, Moneka Fi, Safi Cheyassin Seka.
Why, but you have to bring supporting documents about for your dad and your mom just to show that they are also Gambians.
Yeah, and then your alkali has to attest
you.
That you were indeed, or they know your parents.
They know my parents. So that's what I was told. So now I've gone and I've gotten the death certificate. They said I can bring his old passport. I have that. I have his old driver's license. I have that. So I'll take it again. I'll do it again until I get it right. But nowhere is it written there when I read it.
Yeah.
So I just automatically assumed I have proof of who my parents are. Who doesn't know Cheyassin Seka is a Gambian?
Yeah, we all do, but the law says you have to bring a proof.
Okay, so tomorrow I'll go again with...
You have brought another question before I move. You are a U.S. citizen.
Yes.
So is it, before you can become president or vice president, you have to, you cannot be a
dual citizen.
We know, and we've started the process.
We're
both renouncing.
Both you and Sehu?
Sheikha and I. We started that last year.
Is it worth it?
I think Gambians are worth it.
Oh, wow. That's huge.
That's good.
Gambians, and I believe in Gambians.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge.
And I'm happier here.
Oh, mashallah.
We don't belong there. They don't want us there.
Yeah.
You can have all the money you want in America. Why Jama Bifineka?
Filaneka.
Yeah. I feel at home.
And we have to fix the system.
We have to fix the system.
Yes, so that we don't have to go.
So that we don't have to go back.
We don't have to go.
That's true.
Exactly. So for us, we are both going to do that. We've started the process.
Nice. So going back to the voter registration, since you went out, what have you seen? What have you observed?
I was disappointed because the amount of people I was expecting weren't there.
The turnout is low?
The turnout is low to me. I think we need to talk about the voter registration more. We need to be more visible, and we need to campaign about getting people to register. I was expecting to find long lines, and I didn't see that. And it was a blow. To be able to walk up to them in 10 minutes, I wasn't expecting that. Which is why I sound so frustrated. I feel like we're at a dire transition, and Gambians as a nation are not taking it seriously.
Kemo, this is, even though it's a supplementary, some people have their voter's card, but we are still encouraging somebody like me. I don't know, I do have a voter registration, but I don't even know where it is.
Right. So this
is a good time for you to go look for your voter's card. If you cannot find it, go try to register and just make sure you have it, because it's important.
It's important.
You have been out in Bakau. What have you observed first before we go to the...
So I just want to say that the voter registration has been going on well. Like you've mentioned, this is a supplementary voter registration.
Yeah.
So usually, historically, supplementary voter registrations are not, big as the usual voter registration.
But the ones who turned 18 this year...
There's a lot of young people.
There's a lot of... You're talking about hundreds of thousands of people.
Yes, I do agree. But also... the issue is that every voting block or every voter polling station has a certain number.
Amount of people.
Yeah, for example, currently in Bakau, they're in Farokono and also in Cape Point. So in Cape Point, when you look at the voter number, it's not that much. So there's a high tendency that the number of people we're going to have in Cape Point who would register might not be more than 300 to 400 people added, addition to the already approved number we have from the IEC. But notwithstanding, we're encouraging people to come out and register and vote. And register.
And to make sure they know where their cards are.
Yes, especially young people that are 18, that are going to be 18 before the elections. People that have misplaced their voters' cards, and people that have lost it.
Yeah.
So generally, it has been peaceful but we've had issues here and there.
Yeah.
For example, yesterday we saw a photo of the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly. Some were saying that I can't confirm, but some are saying it's in Bundum. Others are saying, it's in another place. I had also reports because we have started working on this for the last 3 months, where we trained our agents, where we selected agents, where this is why we even gave out mobility to our regional structures with to go around the country or to go around in the regions and also support our process. So in LRR also we had we have seen evidence and also have collected evidence of minors being registered
in LRR.
Yes, but we are compiling all of this, and inshallah, when it comes to the revising code, we will put it forward because the process cannot be disrupted. Yeah, the process is the process. It has, because what I tell people is that the IEC staff cannot determine whether one is eligible or not. Even if you look, even if you are a toddler, if you come with credible documentation, they cannot. So this is why we have always said that the electoral law has to be looked into again, especially the Electoral Act in general. Because the reason why Nenneh has to go through that long process was to make sure that the process was fraud-proof. Yeah. But unfortunately now, that is what is, delegitimizing the process itself. Yeah. Because you had to bring, your birth certificate. They said, well, you can go to the clinic and get a birth certificate. But the alcalo need to say, ki hamna yayam, hamna papa.
But I had someone come with me to say, hamna papa.
So what I'm just saying is that that was what the process was supposed to be like. So as to make sure that people that are not eligible do not get the voter's card. Yeah. Unfortunately today, what we're seeing is that alcalos, because we've seen the president at his meeting in Sukuta, say that every safe one, every alkali should be a politician for him and an agent for him.
Yes, and he said that.
And unfortunately, that just, contradicts why we have the alcalos giving attestation. Exactly. And we've seen in Banjul, where the mayor of Banjul has been stripped of her rights to give. And what that does is that it disenfranchises Banjulians, because now people in Banjul who don't have an alkali
and don't have ID or any proof cannot be registered.
So those are the issues. And we have also heard about what happened in Nyagabantang Ward, in Nyangen. Yeah. And we've seen how, the governor and the CFO Perba are doing exactly what the president asked them to do. Yeah. And we have all heard and read the interview of the alkali, saying that the governor told him, how can you give a sword to your enemy to fight against you? How can you call someone's son his enemy? Because you are not in the same political party with him.
I want to come to that, because when we saw your statement, and I told my team, look, we cannot just publish that statement. Let's reach out to the alcalo and also reach out to the governor. When we reached out to alcalo, he was open to speak to us, and he openly told us what the governor told him and the CFO, that why is he entrusting his term to his son, who is a sworn enemy of the government.
So it means United is the enemy of the government.
And he's also saying that your son cannot be in the opposition. Yeah. What role does the governor himself should not be political?
Exactly.
Yes. But in this place, he's already accusing...
I raised that issue here when we had the by-election in Kiang.
Yeah.
When I had the conversation with, I forgot who from the NPP.
Sekumbala, I think.
Yeah, and I said the governor was seen campaigning. He said no.
Yeah.
And this is why our manifesto was Unite. One of the points we have come up with is to reverse back to the system where governors is either, so to abolish this is two things. Is either you empower the area councils to be administrators and implementers of government projects in the regions. Yeah. Or governors become civil servants and not politicians. So if the governors are going to be politicians, then they need to be elected. They need to go through an election, because you can't have an individual appointed because he's a civil servant and being paid by taxpayers' money and not from the Consolidated Revenue Fund and being there for a single individual's interest. In Jawara's era, governors were seasoned technocrats. Yeah. They were commissioners. Even in colonial era, they were commissioners. Yeah. But also it brings how we haven't really built nation states, Fatou. Because having commissioners and governors and having CFOs, because chef is a French word, meaning chief. So this is a colonial construct. We had kingdoms in Gambia. Yeah. What happened is when the colonialists came and then they fought against our people and won, they had to put puppets in place who would do their bidding for them in the regions. And this is how the CFOs came about. I come from a long line of CFOs. Yeah. And my family have been kings of Combo even pre-colonial time. But this is the reality we're faced with today. It was either you went to bed with the colonialists or you were kicked out. And we've seen how many kings in Combo and global in the country lost their position.
Yeah.
Today, it's the same thing. It's the same culture that is continuing.
Yeah.
Safe was asked to do the fight and bidding of government, or they lose their place.
Let me bring you this video, Sira, if you're ready, because in 2017, the president told us that he's not going to do what Jammeh was doing, to use the governors and safos.
And Moro Jawla became his first victim.
Yes, he said, he said they will not be politicians.
But he's doing everything.
But in Sukuta, a few weeks ago,
like I said, he
President told Governor, Safo, Justice Minister, I'll be campaign Kela because I'll be President Barolo Komantela appoint. Let's watch that video and then come back to what happened in Nyangabandang. If the president is telling the Sefol and Alcalos that they can campaign for him, what is wrong in the Nyangabantang Alcalos son being in an opposition? Let's watch this video. Sira, if you're ready, let's watch this video because it's to it. Because that's what the president said. Sira, let's watch the video first.
Henry Gomez wax na fi tay
bari mba fola e ko
way ma nge wax Henry ne
ñina ñim politiko men minagra
ren politique bi ministre sa dina nekk campaign manager
Minister of Justice
to loi bi
ngole ka loi tamandi
te lu mo amé loi bi
mbe osobi jamal mbe wolle kuma
asobi yu bari man ko order muy joge China
ni osobil nata
asobi yoy ñëwé
yalla mba folo mbadi la jomal la Sefol la ngadi commandangol la ngadi ministre la isalon ka fo ñin ben politicien on
am na ñi ñep ay politician lañ ñep
nga même fo alkalo lele banque mankunda
li ma waxoon borom dëkk yi manka mankunda
iko al manque politicien on
ñu ne yeen alkali
tajel al manque politicien
lolu nanguna du ngeen politicien
bari ngoy ko jomale alta do
dama le kana len jël liggéey
Sefo jomale alta do ko wala
chef yi kana len jël liggéey
ministre jomale alta do ko wala
ministre yi kana len jël liggéey
president baro le alta do ko wala
president baro ma
nada president baro be ñobaro alla jumala dala mutala
mané kon president baro suy bëre kana warati ngem
al ñanta president rawoto
mané kon li nga xamné ni moy dalay president
ke politicien olti
lolo ta ñoñu nek ay politician
mina committee dadalale
dina taxawal ay committees
committee melia lonko ministre o ministre ibota region o mento
committee bo xamné ni ministre bi region ba nga joggé
il faut nan dabe o committee kono le
yow ca committee boba gaay
banko be kan
ci biir réew mi yépp
wayri mbele ñanta wulla ngan tewo siti nga do koke
waye ñun ñëpp nak ñoo wara jog na ñu takaayu ñu liggéey
ngana jutu mo kilinna
buñ xeeb ben nit kenn
ndel man jutu mo mola
ñun xeebuñ kenn
bari ngalon fana man sila mo mola jim banko
xam
kanjal
nañ itam ci réew mi ragaluñ fi kenn itam
mo lebe sila nantel la
nit ñi ñoo ragal
bari ndel te sila la mo
So Gambians, my people, at the end of the day, you going into that booth by yourself. It's your vote and God. You owe no one an explanation who you vote for, and you cannot be scared or manipulated into voting for President Barrow.
Yep. Kemo, you
vote for your future and your family's future.
Yeah, I agree.
You heard what the president said.
Yes, and and
what
this
is the irony here?
I think it just shows what President Barrow's governance has been from the onset in 2017. It has always been a contradiction, and hypocrisy doesn't hide. Hypocrisy always finds a way to show itself.
Yeah.
And what we have seen happen in Nyagabantan today, or Nyagabantan ward, is the hypocrisy that President Barrow himself is preaching. Because you're asking Sefos and alkalis to do your bidding for you, to campaign for you. But an alkali who says, and what the alkali in Nyangen did is done everywhere.
Yeah.
Because people keep on coming for, during the registration process. The alkalis have other official functions they have to do.
Yeah.
They leave the stamp in the house.
Their sons do it.
Their sons, mostly their first children will be there to support by stamping and making sure that everybody is franchised.
Yeah.
So if today you're saying that the son is a member of Unite and he's our chairman in the ward, and that the governor himself is going out of his way to say your son is an enemy of the state, then it means all of us in the opposition are enemies of the state.
But we are considered enemies.
And also, the saddest thing about it all is that the governor has no mandate or right to do that.
That's what I was going to ask.
And because he was
what
asked,
mandate does the governor
he doesn't have any mandate. It's just overpowering, impunity, and doing what they want. And this is why I keep saying that if we let President Barrow go through, he'll become a dictator because he has already shown tendencies. But it goes back to what I was saying, that we haven't built a country. Because what we have is a colonial construct. Like I mentioned, the safe was and how the idea was, brought about. The alcalis were also inherited. Even, being king in the Gambia used to be inherited.
Yeah.
Until we started seeing alcalis being appointed and elections being held. So now what happens is that everybody feels that if I don't do the bidding for the president, I might lose my alcaliship.
Yeah. We saw that in Fonyi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even in Kasakunda.
Yeah.
And every week Watson Gambia comes up with a story about an alkali, dispute. And I mean, we have seen it in all of our communities. And this is why I believe that we need to, if we're going to be honest to ourselves, I think now the attestation is bringing in more problems than it was supposed to.
No, but this is what we all fought for. We all said, why do we have to give these alcalos attestations? Because we have seen what happened in 2021. But the government said no, they put it in the law when they were voting at the National Assembly. Government Assembly members favored it. Yeah. But now, this particular case, the alcalo has been stripped of his responsibility. Yeah. They took his stamp. Now, what happens to the people of Nyangabanta?
Exactly.
They need to be attested. Yeah. In the law, it is only the alcalo who has the right.
So anybody who gives anybody an attestation there is doing something illegal.
But you are also you're also disenfranchising. I cannot say this word.
Disenfranchised.
I can never pronounce it. You're doing that to people community in that community. What happens?
Which brings you back to the point. It was never about us Gambians. Yeah. It's never about the people. President Barrow is a president of self. There is nothing that has affected Gambians that he would come out as a father and say, this is wrong, or this is what I am going to do, and this is what I have implemented. He doesn't follow through. His promises are all broken. That's why I keep asking you, tell me one thing that he put in place that we can all sit here and say, since President Barrow came, this and this and this is what happened. This is the infrastructure that he put in place that we all follow through that has been effective.
And I just want to say something. Going back to the issue of attestations and the issue of the registration, Unite cannot be stopped, Far. And what I keep saying is that the government wants it or not, we will be on the ballot. They cannot do anything about that. And we all heard what Hamad Ba said in the meeting when he went to Sukuta. He said, boys, and they know it because they know that this is what the Gambian people are asking for. The Gambian people are asking for a change within the status quo. We want something different. We want something that works. And we want people with a proven track record who have succeeded in life to be able to deliver this country. And I can tell you for a fact that the young people of this country are fully behind the opposition. The young people of this country want to see change, and they'll make sure that that change
happens.
Now, I tell people elections are not won in an election day.
Yeah.
It is during this period.
And
voter registration, supplementary registrations. The reason why you see top NPP officials on the ground is because they want to make sure they register enough people to make them.
And I can tell you, and just back to that point.
What are you guys doing?
I can tell you that Unite, like I mentioned, over 3 months ago, we started training our agents. We trained them on collating information. We trained them on how to record voters card numbers, because these are all important steps. We also provided mobility to our regions, and tomorrow we will be distributing over 100 motorcycles to our coordinators around the country. We are ready to take on NPP head-to-head fight. Change is going to happen in this country, and I can assure you that. But we are not the only opposition party in this country. And opposition parties need to also understand that. Like you have mentioned, elections are not won on election day.
Yes.
You can't sow cassava and want corn. It's not possible.
Yeah.
If you want to win, you have to put in the work. I have been on the ground for the past 2 days, using my fuel, using my energy, going in and out. Even before that, we went around taking a list of people who should be eligible to vote, people that have misplaced their voters' cards. And now we have our data. We are going to them to pick them up and take them to go register. Unfortunately, not all political parties are doing that. Even when you go to the polling centers, Usually people you see is UDP, Unite, and maybe APP Sobea. So we need opposition parties to invest in elections. Elections are expensive. Politics is expensive. But you don't register a political party and wait till it's election and want to form a coalition. It doesn't work like that. Even when you go to a coalition discussion, you bring something to the table. So if you don't bring structure, you don't bring resources, you don't bring data, what are you offering to the coalition? So these are things that I believe opposition parties need to take, because we are ready to invest in this. Because we know that it's not even about us. Like I told someone today at the polling center, if Talib wins, if Hussein Dabo wins, if Adam Barrow wins, it doesn't stop me from eating my durong. Because I am going to live on and I'm going to survive. But it's about the Gambian people. Yeah. And they need to understand that. So if we are ready to invest this much in an election, governance is great, power is wonderful, but it's about making sure that you fulfill the promises that you have given to the people. I mean, today as a councillor, after I finish my term, I can look back and say I'm proud. But not everybody can do that. And this is why it is important to leave a legacy. Yeah. And we are asking the opposition parties in the Gambia to understand that there's so much at stake.
Yeah, there's so much at stake right now, Nene. There's so much at stake right now.
I agree with
voter
what he has
registration
said.
is on.
We are also out on the ground. We've been working for a while. Yeah. Be around for 9 months, but we have made a lot of inroads. Yeah. It takes a lot of work, and it's very financially costly.
Resources, yeah.
And we have been willing to put our money where our mouth is. And Sheku and I have been doing the work, and will continue to do the work. And we are doing the work because we believe that the system is broken and we need support to build a better system. Yeah. Because the system we have now, the governance we have now, has not worked for the average Gambian. So I agree with him when he says that the work starts now. But also, I will also say, unless a coalition is built, doesn't matter how hard each independent party works. Yeah. If we don't come together and build a team, Barrow is coming back. Yeah. So it doesn't matter how effective UDP is or how effective his party is. Yeah. If we all don't put our differences aside and build one coalition against Barrow, he's coming back.
And it looks like that's what the Gambian people want. The Gambian people, if you look at the last survey that, what's it called, Separate Day, the Gambian people want a coalition. Then it looks like that might be the only way, either a 2-man race or a 3-man race.
At the most, a 3-man race.
A 3-man race.
Yeah, and I just want to correct something, Fatou. Gambia has never really had a 2-man race.
No.
Yeah. So
no, even in 2016, it was 3. Yeah. If we didn't have Mama Kande, Jammeh would have been...
would have won.
Yes.
So
and the margin was just what,
11,000 votes.
Yes.
Yeah. So and I just wanted to say this. When you look at the Separatist report, and what it said is that the Gambian people want a coalition. Yeah. Correct. But we need to be careful, and I keep saying this. Yeah. We need to get our position straight. Are you looking for a coalition to change a government, or are you looking for a coalition that governs?
That governs.
So if you want a coalition that changes the government, everybody can just come around and then we can remove Barrow.
But that's what we did the last.
So that's my point. So we had a plan to remove Barrow, Jammeh. Yeah. But what was our plan post Jammeh? In fact, it took the government over 3 months to come up with a cabinet because we never really had a plan. Yeah. The proposals we put forward to the Gambian people that we are going to come up with reforms, we haven't been able to succeed any of those reforms. Not security sector. In fact, today...
security is worse today than it was.
Not civil service reform. Where is it? Even the commissions we have started, the truth reconciliation, what implementations have we had? And it's been 8 years. Wow. So if we want a coalition that governs, it has to be a coalition based on value. And I've said this here, and I'll say it again. Yeah. I do not believe conventions really put forward the opinion of the Gambian people. If, for example, the opinion of the Gambian people need to be respected. In 2016, Khalifa Saleh would never lose against President Barrow.
I don't know.
Ahmad Ba will never lose against President
Barrow. No, I didn't know how that happened.
So, I mean, but because it's based on, because Barrow rode on the prominence and the privilege of the UDP.
Yes.
But we are saying that, and I've said this here, and when the Surprise report came out, I saw some people who I used to be in the same party with saying that, so you said you want a survey to be done to come up with the I used to say this even when I was in the UDP, that I believe the best way to elect a candidate is to have a survey run, a nationwide survey,
individual,
listen to the Gambian people, don't have delegates, because the delegates do not represent 3 million of us. They represent themselves and their parties they come from. But run consultations, run surveys around the country, listen to what the Gambian people are saying.
On the individual candidates.
Yes, and ask people, who would you vote for? Because one, if you have a convention, you have delegates come forward. The delegates vote for their party. But we are not asking the political parties to elect a president. We are asking the Gambian people to elect a president.
Yes, that's true.
So if you have a young man in Sare Sibo who herds his cattle, wants a better yield, wants better feed, wants to have a reservoir where his cattle can drink, he doesn't care if Kemo Bojang is a delegate of UMC at the convention. All he wants is to be heard and to be listened to. And this is why I keep saying that if we're going to select a candidate, it has to be someone who is accepted by the whole country and who is sellable to the Gambian people. And this is my position, and this has been my position since when I was in the UDP. And I want to see SEPRAS and other credible institutions come up with surveys and ask people, which individual candidate do you think will lead or should lead a coalition? And I believe that would give us the true reflection of what the Gambian people want.
Nenneh, what kind of what are you guys looking at in building a coalition? How would you want the leader of the coalition to be selected, the candidate?
He has to be someone that the average Gambian can relate to. He has to be someone with a 21st century mindset, but still has the core values of a Gambian. Someone that is relatable, someone they can trust, someone with integrity. I think what we have now is a complete opposite of what we need. So coming together, creating the conversations and creating platforms like these to have people discuss and talk. Because we need to start doing it now because we're running out of time.
We what, 7 months?
We're 7 months in. We're 7 months in. But I still have hope. I do. I
must say 2 weeks back, I have lost all hope in whatever was
don't lose hope.
No, I have 2 weeks.
Please don't.
Because I don't see, what I see, to be honest, is President Barrow campaigning every single day as if his life depends on it.
He does.
He is everywhere campaigning, and I don't see the opposition anywhere.
I was just saying this to someone, that I've seen the UDP around, and I've seen Unite having building structures around. But majority of the other parties are very
I have seen Sehu also.
Yes.
I've seen these people around. Since they came, they have been doing a lot of movements. But apart from that,
not a lot
you
of,
hardly
and
see
also
other
GDC also.
GDC started moving. They're doing some movements too.
But to be quite honest, I've only seen your party and UDP, apart from the NPP party around. I could say there are 22 parties. Honestly, it's been about 5 prominent parties, apart from NPP, that I see really making a difference.
But also with NPP, we have to tell the Gambian people the facts. They're using
your money.
The state, even the state machinery.
Funded.
Because the Midday People's Store is not an NPP store.
It's not an NPP.
President Barrow going to inaugurate is not an NPP program. But they are moving it into a political program. Even the First Lady going to meet people is now an NPP program. And it is designed by the First Lady's office. Now the First Lady's office, which we have called on since 2017 to say it's useless and has no impact on the Gambian women.
And we need accountability for the First Lady's foundation. Because all the money that is coming through the foundation, we don't know where it is coming from, what it is being used on, and it's the Gambian people's name. When she was just Fatou Barrow, nobody was giving her any money. But because she's the First Lady of the Gambia, she's getting funds on behalf of the Gambian people. I don't know why we don't talk about this.
I told you, I said we get upset for 2-3 days and then we go back to our daily lives.
And that's what they say in the corner. They say, bulan fale, then you protest 2 days, then you buy them to another topic. That's what they say.
Yeah, of course. I hear them say that. Of course. We don't care enough to want to fight for what belongs to us. That's what the issue is. But I think we're also, I want to say this, we are underestimating Gambians. And I think President Barrow is underestimating Gambians too. he is going to have a surprise because we are more aware, we're more exposed. We want more for our lives. We deserve more. There's more out here. We're more traveled. We're more educated. The internet has exposed us to a different life, and we believe we deserve better. So this is not going to work.
And talking about something that Mr. Kemo just said about using state resources, and I was at our Gambia GPU, Gambia Media House media meeting yesterday, and I said this. Every day the state is accusing some of us, other media, private medias, of empowering the opposition and being biased. But nobody talks about this, whoever I brings here, this is my own property. I own it. It's my business. It's a business. So if I decide to be biased,
it is your right.
It's my right because it's my property. It's not a state property. Even though I try to be fair because that is the rule of being in the media. So you try to be fair. But the GRTS is a state-owned enterprise funded by taxpayers.
They're only showing MPP stuff.
In fact, GRTS, everybody who has a telephone, we are paying GRTS levy. Apart from state financing it, we pay GRTS levy on our phones.
The deputy DG of GRTS is the Kannasorla of the president.
But these people, even GRTS News, when President Barrow is doing a Meet the People, or if President Barrow is doing a campaign, they live stream it on GRTS. And it's not being paid, that I can say, because we don't see any funds going. We cannot see any funds going for those things. For the first time in the history of this country, I see GRTS 8 o'clock news being moved.
Because of a president.
Because the president is having a rally, a political rally. But nobody talks about this. I don't see the opposition talk about it. I don't see anybody. They don't cover any political rally for any opposition. They don't even cover your press conferences. No, they don't. But they still accuse us and they want to regulate us because we are bringing dissenting voice.
And I think it's just ironic that Ismaila Ceesay, who was locked up for dissenting voice against the president, is the one championing this new bill to control and stifle Gambian people.
Well, he's going to lock all of us because we are not registered. I am not registered. We are not registered.
Nobody.
So let's see what they do. They'll jail all of us. Yeah.
If we don't come together, I keep saying this, if we don't come together as a team and stand for something, things are going to get out of control. Another 5 years of President Barrow is going to be a dictatorship. It's going to be based on a dictatorship leadership. We have to make sure we create awareness, and that's why this is important. Because a lot of times people don't go looking for information. You have to put it in their face, and you have to drown them with it. Because there's so many more other important issues that the everyday Gambian is dealing with. They don't go looking for the information. So it is our job to keep talking. Because right now we're sitting here, you don't know who this information is going to resonate with. So we can't give up. I'm hopeful.
And we will continue talking.
We have to continue talking.
And we're running out of time, Kemo. And then what's your last message, especially on the voter registration? What message do you have, especially for the young people?
I think I made a video a few days ago where I spoke about how I was very excited during my first time to go vote. And I believe young Gambians have an opportunity to play when it comes to determining the future of this country. That being the case, this is the only opportunity they have. And you cannot play and want to be the commentator. If you don't play, you can't tell the story. And so it's up to us as young people to take an active role. I believe what happened in 2016 is going to happen in 2026. That young people will take charge of this country and change will happen. But I'd also like to assure every member of Unite and every supporter of our mission that we were born out of a necessity to change the political dynamics of this country. We said from 2016 to 2021, 2022, everything our politics saw in this country was who did what, when, where, and why. And people never really focused on the important issues. This is why we left the party we were part of. We said we wanted to start something new that would resonate with the Gambian people. And then we wanted to empower the young Gambians to feel that they have a voice that will be here to listen to them and to bring the change that they deserve. Nobody on this face of this earth can stop Unite from contesting this election. And I am saying that with affirmation on your platform. Nobody. All they're doing, all they're trying is because we are they said it themselves. What Honorable Minister said at that meeting was supposed to be an internal discussion. There was the discourse internally, and he was the loose one who came out and spoke about it. But I can tell them, it's an evolution, it's a revolution that's happening, a peaceful one, where young Gambians are taking charge of their country with the support of the wisdom of our elders we have within, and change will happen. They can stop Kemo Bojang, but they cannot stop this revolution happening. I am just an individual, but this is a continuous process that Gambians are going to take ownership of. Unite is a platform here to unite every Gambian, to believe that we can have transformation, we can have equality, and we can have progress that we all desire. And that can only happen if we unite as a people and build a national identity that transcends beyond the sexes, that transcends beyond our tribes, that transcends beyond our economic circles. We want to see a Gambia that is progressive. We want to see a Gambia that reflects the daily needs and aspirations of our people, and we believe we can offer that to the Gambian people.
Nenneh, final message.
I would like to speak to the average Gambian, the person who is frustrated because they finished high school and could not find a job. A person who has family members sitting on the stoop. A person who has a brother or a sister who's married and they're all still living in the same compound because they cannot afford to buy or have their own place. I'm talking to the Gambian who is frustrated because they lost a family member, a friend, or they heard a story of someone going back way and they died on their way there because they feel like being here as a youth is hopeless. They don't have a future. I'm talking to the mother who wakes up at 6 a.m. in the morning and works in the market until 6 p.m. in the evening and still has to come home and cook dinner, and you worked all week and you've earned less than $20. If you are frustrated with the system, if you believe you deserve better, go register and vote. Change comes by you voting. If you've lost your voter's card, if you cannot find it, if you've misplaced it, if you've damaged it, this is the time for you to make time and go register. You cannot want change without you inconveniencing yourself. If you are a mother and you feel like there is no hope here, or you've lost a child through childbirth, I'm talking to you. If you have a child and you went through gestation early, you delivered your baby at 6 or 7 or 8 months, and there is no incubator in the hospital, and you lost your child, I'm talking to you. If you're frustrated because you're in a classroom that has no fan, that has no running water, I'm talking to you. These things are your basic human needs and your basic human rights. We say no to living through the poverty and the impoverished lifestyles that we have. We've had a president for 10 years and he hasn't done what he says. Another 5 years, he's not going to do what he says. Vote against poverty, vote against bigotry, vote against misogyny, and vote because you're a Gambian and because you believe you deserve better.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Nenneh. Thank you, Kemo. And that brings us to the end of this show. To the Gambian people, voter registration have started. You are a Gambian and your vote counts. If you want the status quo to stand, to continue, you have the right to vote for President Barrow. But how can you do that? You have to register. If you believe this system is not working for you and your family, if you want to change it, you have a right. And that right is by registering and voting against it. Now, the choice is yours. All you need to do, go to the nearest polling station, register because your life depends on it. You cannot just sit on social media and talk about what is happening in our country. For your frustrations, the only way you can channel it, the right way to channel it is by voting, like your life depends on it, because your life depends on it.
I just want to say something to the diaspora.
So vote. Yeah. The Gambians in the diaspora.
Please, I forgot that.
Please encourage your people to go out and register.
They have a lot of influence.
Because you have the influence. Our GDP depends on you in the diaspora. If you tell your nieces, your nephews, your mothers, your grandmother, I take my grandmother, she's over 80-something. Every election she votes because she believes in what she's doing. And she believes her voice matters. Sometimes I tell her I cannot even take her because she cannot walk properly, but she still wants to go and vote that single vote. So for you who is young, especially those who are just 18, this is the most important thing to do. And it's so beautiful to just sit there and tell the president that you elected, I voted for you. I chose you.
So I can hold you accountable.
And now I can speak against you. That is so beautiful, and that is so, so important. This is your only chance to say that to whoever you voted for. Go out and register. It's very important.
Register to vote.
Register to vote. Good night to you all. See you again. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Looking for the perfect home away from home in the Gambia? Welcome to BC's Residence, your ideal short-stay apartment in the heart of Bundung. Whether you're visiting for business, pleasure, or an extended stay, BC's Residence offers you the comfort, convenience, and privacy you deserve. Enjoy spacious, well-appointed accommodations in a peaceful neighborhood just behind Nusrat High School. Our residence combines modern amenities with authentic Gambian hospitality, ensuring your stay is both comfortable and memorable. At BC's Residence, you are not just booking a room, you're finding your perfect base to explore all that the Gambia has to offer. Ready to book your stay? Contact us today. +220 941414 BC's Residence at gmail.com. BC's Residence, Bundung, behind Nusrat High School. Your comfort is our priority.
Jah Oil ñoom ñoo jiitu si wàllum jaay essence si biir réew mi te ñu def ko warugal pour kontaan loo suñu client yi borom moto yi ak driver yi seen jaaxare jeex na léegi pour am essence bu baax ak njëg bu yomba lii sax moo tax ñu amal leen banxaas fépp si biir réew mi pour essence bu baax bu set benn place rek la muy Jah Oil soo soxlae essence bu set essence bu baax gasoil wala kérosine naa la wax ne Jah Oil rek mooy jëmukaay ga doxantul rek si bépp banxaasi Jah Oil nga am si bànneex ak Jah Oil seen bànneex mooy suñ taxawaay moo tax ñu amoon leen banxaas bépp si biir réew mi nim gën a yombee pour yow ak suñ liggéeykat yu xarañ yi naa la won ne mbégte rek nga see jël pour am essence bu baax pour say machine fenn place rek la mooy sa Jah Oil ak Jah Oil bànneex kese la moo tax sax suñ station si nekk ca Costa Road ak Banjul wàññil nañ leen njëgi essence bi foofu noonu pour am si lu leer mun ngaa call si 770 8080 322 9070 714 7273 wala 787 1321 Jah Oil, the pride of the nation.
Introducing the future of hassle-free and seamless financial transaction. The UNA Wallet app, empowering you to effortlessly manage your money anytime, anywhere. With the UNA Wallet app, you can now enjoy branchless banking, wallet-to-wallet transfer, wallet-to-cash, and bank cross-border payments. Deposit at a bank and withdraw from any UNA branch. Get ready to experience the ultimate banking convenience with the UNA Wallet app. With just few taps on your phone, you can effortlessly add funds, withdraw, and send money to your loved ones. The UNA Wallet app also provides a detailed history of your transaction, making it easier to track your expenses. So, what are you waiting for? Download the UNA Wallet app today on Play Store or App Store and say goodbye to hassle of traditional banking. UNA Forex Bureau Limited, delivering much more than money.